I took some time to sit back and evaluate my fitness program, and I've decided it's time to make a change. It's always good to look back at the work that you've done over the course of the last several months to see if you're making progress towards your goals, and honestly, I wasn't. When it comes to a few things like my handstands and handstand push ups on parallettes, I was making that nice, steady progress, and even things like getting better at running felt like it was going decently smoothly. But my main goal, the 180-pound pull up, has been very stagnant. Little to no progress, almost feels like I could have been regressing at times. So I had to sit back and analyze it. And today I want to take you through what my findings were and how I can readjust my program in order to get that goal going forward, as well as maintaining and pushing my other goals forward as well. So, in order to make a change to my fitness program, I needed to look at the root causes of why my progress was stalling. And then from there, I would take those and then restructure my program around it. So, I was able to target in three specific ways that my program wasn't working: run fatigue, my diet, and the structure of my actual pull up workouts. First, let's talk about running fatigue. This was something where I was kind of going against my current programming. Right now, I am doing a pull day, leg day, push day, and then a recovery day. And the leg days were having runs, which was fine, but it was into one of my recovery days. I would also have a run as part of that. And what initially started off fine, it was a little bit lower stress, has built into a harder and harder session. And this has gone from having 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off, into 3 days plus another day into 3 more days. So it was making it 7 straight days before getting a true recovery day. And I think just the general fatigue and volume of fatigue over time was wearing me down. I don't mind having like an easy, maybe 3 mile run built in there where I'm not trying to push myself. But where I currently was having a recovery day that would do 30 minutes of massage gun, into 30 minutes of stretching and handstands, into about an hour worth of hard running to get 5 miles in. So what ended up being, typically an hour long of just stretching would go into 2.5 hours, and basically making a workout on its own. So I need to be able to have that middle day be easy, either just stretching or a very, very light run, and not trying to push it going forward. And the second point, diet, ties right into that because I was running harder and harder. My body was kind of getting hungrier. It was demanding more carbs and fuel to recover. So I was definitely having a lot more cheat meals than I actually wanted to. And by having an actual dedicated recovery day every fourth day, I'm a little bit more disciplined. I know that if I overeat that day, then I'm going to be significantly bloated and I'm not going to burn through it as easily as if I had a hard run before it. So going forward, I think having these additional lighter days will make it to where my diet stays a little bit more intact and I don't have to splurge as much as I currently am. And the last point is really just how I structure my pull days. Currently, I'll have things like front lever at the start, and some days will then go straight into one arm pull ups and then eventually get to weighted pull ups. But I need to have weighted pull ups at the forefront of my workout. I don't mind having one arm pull ups near the front every now and then because that's unilateral strength. It's going to build up my grip, and that will have carryover into my weighted pull ups. But starting off with front lever, while it is very important to have the full body engaged and is going to get some general pulling stability built in, I think that is just too much on my body where I need to deprioritize that and either fully cut it out or just do a progression of it later in the workout so I can get the priority onto the weighted pull-ups. So with those three main factors in mind, here's how I'm going to structure my workouts going forward. So the main structure of my workout will remain the same, where I have a pull day into a leg day, into a push day, into a recovery day, but I'm going to expand this into a 12-day block instead of an 8-day block. And the main focus for this is really to take that hard run that I previously had on a recovery day and give that a dedicated leg day by adding in also some additional leg exercises like squats and lunges. But that way I can have my recovery days built in as either very light runs, light stretching, or just totally shut down, depending on what my particular need is for that day. And then I will also be able to have that be 3 different pulling weights and pulling reps that I can use for those time periods. So the current structure is I would have one day that is a 7 rep day, one that's a 5 rep day, and one that's a 3 rep day. So then the goal would be for that one block, I can go from a higher rep scheme into a lower rep scheme, And then hopefully that adjusts it to where then the next week I can either increase weight or reps and keep progressing over time that way. It's something that I haven't done in a very long time. Normally, I just try to keep it to two different rep schemes and then change it up every couple months. But I figured this is worth the experiment, especially now that the start of my workouts are also going to be changed. So when we look at the start of my workouts for my pull days specifically, the main thing here is to have at least 2 of the days where I go straight into weighted pull ups. And then one of those days I can start with one arm pull ups and then have a lighter weight of weighted pull ups afterwards. So likely this is going to be the one arm pull ups into my 7 rep day, and then have my 5 rep day and my 3 rep day start with weighted pull ups and have some one arm pull ups and some one-legged front lever work after those. So ultimately, that's how I'm going to make changes to the pull day. I'm just going to basically have it to where weighted pull-ups is the primary focus, and then have a run or leg day after that the next day. And then my pushing days, those are progressing pretty well. So those workouts aren't going to mightily change. It's mostly going to remain the same, where I'm striving to get better at the parallel handstand push-up. So it's going to start with my handstands into some sort of handstand push-up work, depending on how the progressing is going, into then regular handstand push-ups on the ground, and then regular push-up work after it. I haven't given that as much thought yet, but honestly, it's been progressing well enough on its own. So, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And then lastly, the recovery days, as I mentioned before, kind of 3 main focuses is either to just totally shut it down, or have the ability to do maybe a light jog those days, or work on some stretching and mobility work, but nothing to where the total amount of work for that day exceeds an hour. I want to get those recovery days back. I think it's going to be good for my mental, as well as it'll be good for my body to physically recover for the next day, which is going to be one of those prioritized pull workouts. So those are the main changes. As part of this too, I'm hoping that my diet can be in a little bit better shape, because I'm not going to be exerting myself as hard. So therefore the demand on my body to need fuel will hopefully lessen. And I'll also just be mentally in that state where, oh, it's a recovery day and I know I'm going to have a really good pull workout the next day. So I don't want to overeat this day, and then try to keep that going forward over time. Well, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this, and to like the video if you did enjoy it and you got something from how I'm mentally approaching my changes here, and subscribe to the channel to see how this progresses over time. I'll try to keep you guys updated and then give you feedback on how this approach did or didn't work. And hopefully, if it does work out for me, you might consider adding it into your own training program as well. Have a good one, everyone. Let's hope this works.